First of all, thank you very much for doing this together with me. This is especially very dear to my heart because we are doing this here in beautiful Istanbul, which is my hometown. And for those of the audience that don't know you that well, could you please introduce yourself?
My name is Candan Yasan Tepetaş. I'm an assistant professor of private international law at Istanbul Bilgi University. Actually, this is the place where we met.
Yes, more than 10 years ago.
Wow, time flies.
Yes, it does.
I'm also an arbitration practitioner. I regularly sit as arbitrator or serve as party counsel in both domestic and international cases. I'm also a member of the ICC Commission on Arbitration and ADR.
So you served as the first and founding Secretary General of the Istanbul Arbitration Centre as well. How did this position come along?
My journey to Istanbul Arbitration Centre began at the early years of my career as a teaching assistant, in fact. I fell in love with private international law, then international dispute resolution, and ultimately arbitration. And I was very, very lucky because I had the privilege of knowing Professor Ziya Akıncı and Professor Gökyayla. So when Professor Akıncı became the president of Istanbul Arbitration Centre, I found myself at ISTAC. So that was a very, very challenging experience also because I was quite young at that time. But I think I embraced the challenge and I worked very hard. And I had a very, very good support from Turkish arbitration community. The establishment of ISTAC had a very positive effect on the international arbitration practice in Turkey.
Yes, actually Istanbul Arbitration Centre was, I think, what international arbitration practitioners in Turkey looking for. Also the court's approach towards arbitration have changed a little bit, and then also it set the stage for international stakeholders in arbitration to also become more positive about the arbitration scene in Turkey.
I couldn't agree more. The positive trends of ISTAC, like emergency arbitrator or expedited procedure, found their places in Turkish practice. And also the young generation, young ISTAC, everybody had a very positive support. So I think we grow together. And ISTAC nowadays become a very important regional center and international one, a truly international one. The number of cases is increasing, range of sectors are very different.
And during all those years that you held the position of Secretary General of Istanbul Arbitration Centre, what had surprised you the most?
Probably I can think of a case having a 6-page of arbitration agreement.
Only the arbitration
Only
agreement?
the arbitration agreements. That was a very detailed and complex arbitration agreement, and the case at that time was one of the biggest cases of ISTAC. However, at the Secretariat, we had quite difficult time to, comply with this arbitration agreement because the parties agreed to shorten the time limits. They also amended the commencement of the time limits. So it was very difficult for us to enforce this agreement.
So you currently are a member of the advisory boards of the ICC and the Istanbul Arbitration Centre. And then you also act as a sole practitioner and act as parties counsel and arbitrator in arbitration matters. And then you also hold a position in the university. So how do these 3 hats contribute to your professional path?
My personal experience is that having an academic title helped me a lot to establish my expertise. However, I think that doing some counsel work, serving as arbitrator was a transformative experience for me. Right now, all my academic work are also related, mostly related, with the experience I had through a case. On the other hand, having the title of assistant professor and being with my student is so enriching. I'm learning a lot from them. They are actually giving you another angle and perspective.
Yeah, this is what I actually also experienced. So I also give lectures in Humboldt University in Berlin. And there I also feel like I get the opportunity to share my practical experience with the students, but also the feedback that I get from them, or like different perspectives that they share on the practical cases that we handle, open different doors.
Exactly, they are so open-minded.
I know you also, as ISTAC, you also hold a lot of workshops, seminars and so on with the students of different law faculties, of different universities. I think this is really like a two-way street that your practical experience probably feeds the educational part and vice versa.
And vice versa. But I should also stress that I'm not a superwoman, and I think that I don't have to be a superwoman So we should remember that we are all human.
So, as a female practitioner in arbitration and having held the position of Secretary General in Istanbul Arbitration Centre and having handled different matters from different jurisdictions, how do you think the issue of diversity is considered and addressed in practice?
First of all, we should admit that diversity issues is everybody's issues. I had the chance to witness the positive efforts of the institutions, ICC, ISTAC, to improve diversity, to increase the appointment of women arbitrators, to push diversity. However, there's a long way to go. We should do more. I think that the enterprises, the law firms, should take more positive action, promote more positively diversity. They should establish some policies. Diversity is not only limited with gender diversity, ethnical diversity, nationality. We should also do our best to consider these issues in international arbitration, because international arbitration for me is the place that we can do much and we can do our best to have a balanced and diverse area and practice. And this is the way that we are growing together. And I think that women especially should support women.
So, when you look at the future, what do you think is the biggest challenge in arbitration, in the dispute resolution scene, from the Turkish perspective?
I think that nowadays geopolitical uncertainties are the biggest challenge that we are facing in Turkey. Turkey should maintain its natural place to be a natural seat for international disputes. I think we should do our best to keep that role and that position.